In 1991, I had created a 3D graphics and math library called 3DVECT. When I first saw the movie Tron, I had always wanted to make a light cycle game, and what you are looking at is the end result of that game library.
Okay, party people in the house.
I am going to make the claim that 3DVECT was the first fully 3D game engine available for the PC. In the early 90s, there was no formal documentation on how to make 3D objects or worlds, so I had to make my own formulas and engine. The graphics used a 256 color index palette, and color shading was done using a cross-referencing table. 3DVECT had simple material types like flat shading, Glens vectors, blobs, and you could also import objects from 3D Studio or AutoCAD. Objects also had hierarchy, and skeletons could be created with objects attached to other objects. There was no graphics cards, no hardware acceleration, no math coprocessors. All 3D graphics had to be drawn using software. Graphics were limited to 256 colors, and all math functions used 32-bit integers and 16.16 fixed point arithmetic. By the time the last version was released, 3DVECT was not only a complete 3D engine where you could allocate objects, assign models, and move them around, but it also had animated 3D sprites, background stars, a mod music player, console overlays, joystick and keyboard functions, and a complete sound effect management system. The calculations are done using 32-bit integer 16.16 fixed point math with 3x4 matrix calculations. At least 3 space games were made using 3DVECT, and I know of a number of demos as well. 3DVECT was what I called postcardware. All I asked for was that anyone that found the game library useful send me a postcard from someplace near where they lived, and I got thousands of postcards from all over the world. At the time, giving away your software library for free was not common. I stopped working on 3DVECT because it was not using subpixel polygons or Quaternions. I began to build a new 3D engine to facilitate remaking the Tron light cycle game. This is the first subpixel polygon routine I wrote, and it was written entirely in assembly. For comparison, you can see side by side a polygon with subpixel precision and one without subpixel precision. Once I had the subpixel routine in assembly, I added Z buffering, texture mapping, perspective correct textures, and then Gorad shading. Finally, here is a single assembly routine that had Z-buffered, Gorad shaded, perspective correct texture maps, subpixel polygons, 16.16 fixed point math, and cross-reference shading tables. This was in 1996, and I was ready to make the Tron light cycle game I had always wanted. About this time, OpenGL and hardware-accelerated graphics video cards were becoming cheap and popular. Hardware acceleration changed everything. I began a new 3D engine with 16-bit graphics, 4x4 Quaternion matrices, anti-aliasing, perspective correct textures, shading, Z-buffering, and everything I was doing in assembly was now being done in hardware, and it looked amazing. Once the game was playable, I actually did approach Disney to see if they would like to collaborate on the game. Disney declined, as they told me they were already working on a light cycle version of their own. This was about 2002, and I've often wondered whatever happened to their version. Eventually, I created my own models and graphics for the game and renamed it to Sonic Speedsters. I recognized that the graphics for Sonic Speedsters were not as good as Disney, but I had to move forward with the project. The final version of Sonic Speedsters had 6 different customizable vehicles, 10 arenas, a Rocket Arena-style online multiplayer mode, and maps that you had to complete. I even added weapons to the game, such as a plasma gun, BFG, rockets, and grenades.